What's going on, guys? This is Real Deal Fantasy HQ with your boy LQ back in for another great episode. In today's episode, we are talking the top 10 running backs for the fantasy football season. So this is probably one of my favorite episodes to cover. I really don't like to go in depth on the clear 101, 102, 103. It really starts getting fishy between 6 and 10. So I definitely want to cover that today. So I don't want to waste any more time. So let's get right into the episode. So today we are talking the top 10 running backs, people. You all know who Mr. 101 is, so there is no need for me to even go into detail of why he's Mr. 101. CMC, Christian McCaffrey. If you don't know that, and if you are drafting someone else at the 101 spot, you should stop playing fantasy forever. You should be stoned to death if you do not take CMC. You're just making that 102 guy, that 102 owner, just the happiest guy in the world, that he's going to basically just skate right to the championship, being that he has CMC at the 102 spot. I actually seen somebody in a mock draft. I think they were trolling, but they took Zeke at 1 after all this COVID shit. But maybe, you might have to take him at 1, being that he's positive now, and then going in, into the season, he probably can't get it again, or he won't get it again. So it's like guaranteed 16 games. Now, it would suck, God forbid, knock on wood, I got some wood right here. But if CMC catches it in like week 3, and then he's out 2 games, or he catches it week 10 and he's out 2 games right before playoffs, and you need these wins to get to the playoffs to become like a 5th or 6th seed. It's going to be a problem, especially, with guys who are already injury prone. They're probably going to want to, hold off or play a little, what's the word that I'm looking for? Basically play like a bitch, not trying to get hurt and then actually catch COVID and end up missing games anyway. But there's that. But anyway, I really like CMC at 101. There's no point of going into detail of who should be 101 because it's clear as day. But anyway, Saquon, obviously the 102. I've seen Saquon go at 103 before. Zeke at the 102. These are really just kind of like ordeals where people were playing, PPR formats or standard formats, but only today I'm going to cover PPR formats. So honestly, Saquon should be there at the 102 spot. No other person. I don't like Zeke there, being that he's not going to get the full send on the receptions. Zeke hasn't had more than 70-something receptions. So it's like I really want Saquon, who's going to give me 90 to 100 catches. That's definitely something that I value in a PPR format league. So definitely think and believe that there's no question that Saquon's at 102. Now, Zeke at 3, obviously he gives you the touchdowns, he gives you the yardage, and he gives you some reception. I'm not going to say some. He gives you a good ton of receptions, and he should, still be a focal point in that offense. I really think he's going to be getting the ball way more than we actually think, being with CeeDee Lamb there. You got Maury Cooper and Michael Gallup. I really think Zeke is still going to be that focal point in that offense. So the 103 spot, toss up. So Alvin Kamara, I have him at the 104 spot. I have him ranked number 4 running backs. I really feel like I'm a little sketchy about this, being that maybe his health, he has some type of decline, but he did get injured. Latavius Murray is a nice, handcuff going into this season. Definitely showed up and, performed when he was asked upon. That's in my handcuffs video I posted a couple weeks ago. But I definitely feel like Alvin Kamara, the number 4 spot, I'm like rethinking it right now. I did like a top 10 ranking, posted on my Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and etc. And I feel like I'm getting the same questions. Like, is he going to stay healthy? Is he going to perform? Is it a full send? You know what I mean? He gives you 81 receptions. That's all we know for 100% fact, regardless of how many games he missed. 81 receptions past 3 years in a row, back to back to back. So look it up. That is a crazy stat. And I feel like he's not really that much of a safe pick, like as much as he used to be. So right there at that 105 spot, I got Derrick Henry. Now, Derrick Henry's getting some love. He's getting some hate, being that he's a slow start. You got to be very patient with Derrick Henry. But I really feel like that the Titans are locked in. They know the game plan. They're not going to make Ryan Tannehill throw the ball 25 to 30 times a game. You're going to see Derrick Henry and whoever else they have behind him, which doesn't matter. I know it's not Deion Lewis anymore. But anyway, they're going to have Derrick Henry running the ball at least 20 times or 25 times a game. That is going to be something that I want all smoke for. I want all parts of that. And that brings nothing but touchdown opportunity. It brings nothing but massive yards. I mean, he may even get some looks out of the backfield, a little screen here and there or whatever. You know what I mean? The dude can do it all. He is a beast. He's a freak athlete. Shout out to Animal. But I feel like, there's a time where you have to be like, dude, you need to start the season off firing. You need to start off, hit the ground running. No pun intended. You just need to, just explode, because we all know that back half of the season with Derrick Henry, you're sailing right to the championship, or you're sailing right to the playoffs. Like, he takes you there. He takes you to the dance. He gets you in. He fucking puts a bow tie around his head, starts breaking shit. He goes crazy in the playoffs, people. He fucks the prom queen, basically. So I want you to understand, when you're drafting Derrick Henry, it's going to be a slow start. It just is what it is. It's what we've seen the past 2 years. So I feel like you have to be a patient owner with Derrick Henry, and that's why you go running back heavy. You have your RB2, or, you have a nice, flex position there at the running back position to actually give you that, point to contribute to your team week to week. But Derrick Henry always explodes in the playoffs. And again, I want all smoke with him. I want all smoke with Derrick Henry when it comes to, in that fifth spot, the fifth running back off the board. Now, my next guy at the 106 spot, Dalvin Cook. Now, hear me out. Dalvin Cook, he can explode, but he does not get you to the dance and perform in the dance, I should say. He's like iffy. Like, he has to stay healthy. He's planning to hold out as well. That's looming, but I don't think it'll be a Melvin Gordon situation where he holds out. It'll definitely be like a Zeke situation, right up to the last wire. You know what I mean? So he drops in a little bit in the rankings. He drops a little bit in that first round, but I feel like even without him holding out, he was going to miss games, people. So it's not something that, I'm actually scared about, or, I'm worried about. Like, people love Dalvin Cook because he does everything great for those first 10 weeks, and then he starts missing games. He's injured. He's, not performing at the highest ability that we know he can do. Like, he's playing very cautious. Like, he doesn't want to get hurt. Like, he plays dangerous. Like, he played dangerous, I should say. But now we're seeing a more cautious Dalvin Cook. You know what I mean? And I just don't agree with him going over Derrick Henry or Alvin Kamara or Zeke. Like, I've seen him go as high as, 103. So I don't feel like I'm that guy. I don't want to be that owner to be like, yeah, it's a full send on Dalvin Cook. Like, no, it's not, honestly. So I need people to understand that with this holdout, it doesn't alter anything. It doesn't alter my feelings towards him. He's going to miss games regardless. So that's why he drops down at the 106 spot. Now to the next guy, Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon has been a stud. He's been very consistent, even with a bad O-line, a bad team, bad coaching, etc. Also, another person who is threatening to hold out. He wants to get paid. The man should be paid, being that he's the focal point of that offense. But now with Joe Burrow coming in, AJ Green back healthy, there's a lot of variables where I feel like they are in a win now situation. Like, they're trying to ramp back up to be, relevant in that division, which that division is hard to begin with. So I don't think that the Bengals are going to do much this year, but I feel like with Joe Mixon, he doesn't get paid. Consistent. He's one of my safest, first round running backs that go off the board. He's like a safe pick. You can easily lap him up with the Josh Jacobs I've done in the mock draft. I did Joe Mixon and Nick Chubb. I did Joe Mixon, Austin Eckler. You know what I mean? So, like, he's a very safe pick. I really feel like not many people are going to be reaching out to get him. I don't think that he's on much people's radars, because I've seen DeAndre Hopkins. I've seen Devontae Adams go before Joe Mixon, you know what I mean? So there is things in the first round that could be swapped around that happens to where Joe Mixon actually falls to you at the, 110 or even 112, you know what I mean? In between there, that's where I think he needs to go. Now, the next guy, Nick Chubb. I definitely got Joe Mixon above Nick Chubb, because Joe Mixon doesn't have anybody that's very talented behind him. Because Nick Chubb, I feel like with Kareem Hunt behind him, it's just gonna be like a 1A, 1B situation where Kareem Hunt's going to get involved too much, and it's going to bring down Nick Chubb's value. It's going to bring down his production. You might see a numbers drop, being that, Kareem Hunt is here, a full season behind him. And we've seen Kareem Hunt turn up in games to where he had the opportunity. And I feel like him in the passing game, with him working out wide receivers, first of all, in this offseason, lets me know everything I need to know when it comes to PPR formats. Kareem Hunt is going to catch the rock, and he's going to explode out of that backfield, people. So you need to understand with him in open space is a very dangerous thing. And Nick Chubb, he's a very good running back, a power runner. He gives you 1,000 yards, etc. But Kareem Hunt is going to be hard to keep off the field, people. That's my only problem with drafting Nick Chubb. If you are a Nick Chubb owner, I honestly think it doesn't even matter if you handcuff Kareem Hunt, because it's going to come a time where you're like, fuck, I can't play both. And if you do play both, you're really rolling the dice on that. That I don't agree with. Some people do that. Some people will draft 2 wide receivers on the same team. They'll have like a Mike Williams and a Keenan Allen in their lineups. Like, I think that's like fucking insane. But, you know, I don't play like that. I mean, some people agree with it. Some people are all for that, but I don't play like that. And the only combination I would have took last year probably would be Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. That would have been a full send to start both. But in situations like that, I don't really agree with, you know, same team, you know, same position at that, you know, to be in my starting lineup. But it's going to be real ugly if you got to put Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt in your starting lineup. That's going to be crazy, man. I don't want that headache. I don't want that problem. So I'm almost saying I'm not drafting Nick Chubb, even though he might be the last, you know, running back on that top tier or tier 2 list of running backs that are still available. Because I got, when I did a mock draft, I think it was 24 running backs off the board in the first 3 rounds. That is insane. So running backs this year are going like that. So you might be put in a situation where you're like, damn, there's not going to be that many running backs after Nick Chubb. There's not going to be that many RB1s after Nick Chubb. So it's like, you kind of got to bite the bullet, or you just go ahead and risk it all for the biscuit. You know what I mean? But with Kareem Hunt behind him, that worries me a lot. That's why he falls in my top 10 rankings. But I definitely am not saying do not draft him. I'm just saying I am not drafting him. I don't want that headache. I don't want Kareem Hunt fucking up my weeks where Nick Chubb has like freaking 60 yards and 1 touchdown. You know what I mean? Like, it's not terrible. You know what I mean? That's not a terrible situation, but I just don't want to have my first round investment being that I'm investing this high on a guy where I'm expecting 20, 25 points from him week to week. Now, if it turns into 12 points, I'm not going to be happy with that. You know what I mean? That's not going to be something that I'm going to agree with. That's going to be basically a wasted investment. I can get a guy that give me 12 points a week as a running back in like the freaking 5th or 6th, 7th round. You know what I mean? So if I wanted to do that, I just would have waited that long. But I definitely think Nick Chubb is going to be very interesting to watch this year. It's going to be interesting to see how they get them both involved, because Kareem Hunt ain't going nowhere, people. They had options. They had chances to trade him off or even like ship him away or even cut him, being with his off-field issues, but they didn't. They know his talent. They know he can get the job done. So that's what scares me about Nick Chubb. To begin with, fuck the Browns. I don't even know why they even brung in Kareem Hunt. Like, did you not think that the Bulldog, Nick Chubb, was not going to perform? Like, fuck you. It might have been a health thing. You know, Nick Chubb did tear his ACL in college. You know what I mean? So that's probably looming in the backfield, you know, in the back of their heads to have the insurance policy with Kareem Hunt. But I feel like it's going to be very difficult to be a Nick Chubb owner this year, and I kind of don't want any stocks in him. But, you know, moving on. So the next guy I got is Austin Ekeler. Now, Austin Ekeler was my 5th running back off the board pre-NFL draft. You know what I mean? I felt like in the offseason, the Chargers were going to bring in Cam Newton. I feel like they were going to bring in, you know, a veteran quarterback that was still out there on the market. Not Joe Flacco, of course, not. In the hell no. But I knew they were going to the draft to either get a top prospect, which they did, and have him, you know, develop or whatever, kind of like a Jared Goff situation, which I fear is going to happen with him learning under a fucking Tyrod Taylor. Now, Tyrod Taylor, a lot of people say, oh, well, he could be very serviceable. He can get the offense going. He could do a bunch of checkdowns to Austin Ekeler. I honestly think that offense is going to be at a standstill with Tyrod Taylor. We've seen him lose his job, you know, and I feel like this is the same situation. This is the same story we're going to get with Tyrod Taylor, and it hurts everybody around him. It hurts Keenan Allen. It hurts Mike Williams. It hurts Hunter Henry. It definitely hurts Austin Ekeler. Everybody swears and thinks that, you know, the coach is going to be like, I know my QB sucks, so let me just check down. No, that's not how that works. They're going to try to get, you know, his full ability. They're going to try to gas him up. They're going to try to see if they can do the things that they were doing with Phillip Rivers, you know what I mean? And I don't see that happening at all. So with Austin Eckler, he's definitely going to get a shit ton of targets. He's going to, be the number one running back in that backfield, but that offense as a whole is going to suck. And that is my biggest problem here, people. And I feel like Tyrod Taylor is the cancer of it. So I think they need to just put Herbert in. They just need to give him the keys, let him, develop his way to be NFL polish or whatever, and then chalk it up as a dub. You know what I mean? And that's why Austin Eckler's, so far down in my rankings. Like I said before, he was like my 5th running back off the board, pre-NFL draft. You know what I mean? Because I really thought Phillip Rivers would stay. I know he threatened to leave before, but I honestly didn't see him going anywhere. So honestly, I was surprised by that. But I feel like you're still getting good value with Austin Eckler where he's going. He's going in the back half of the first round, and I feel like he's still going to be a PPR monster. He's going to still give you PPR, points week to week. I just don't feel like he's going to explode like how we've seen him, explode with Melvin Gordon behind him having a chip on his shoulder and him actually getting the full send opportunity, those first 4, 5, 6 weeks or whatever, how long Melvin Gordon was out. But we shall see. We shall see how that goes. I actually won't say not to draft Austin Eckler, but I'm going to draft Austin Eckler because I feel like at that point in the draft, all those running backs are going to be gone. Like I said, you're either way you put it, you're going to be in a situation where it's like, damn, there's not that many running backs that are RB1s left that have that RB1 potential. So I got to grab Austin Eckler. Now, the next guy, I feel like I should have a tad bit higher, number 10. Josh Jacobs. Now, he is going to explode this year, people. Mark my words. Mark my words. He's going to be a top 6, top 7 running back, being that it's going to be a full send. He is very talented, people, and I think the Raiders recognize that, and I think they're going to try to get him more involved. It's going to be a full send when it comes draft day. I want all parts of Josh Jacobs as my RB2 because he's going to have a very high upside of an RB1. So I definitely think that where he's dropping in that second round, he's either going at 112 or he's going at the 201 spot, and that's completely fine with me. I can wrap around and get Josh Jacobs there as my RB2 when I got a stud or whatever the case may be. Now, I feel like the Raiders need to just focus on, getting the ball out of Derek Carr's hands because him getting antsy in that pocket and then him fucking up plays, him getting all, anxiety and stuff. Like his O-line isn't terrible, and I feel like they just need to run that offense through Josh Jacobs, you know what I mean? Now, Henry Ruggs, oh my God, Ruggs, yeah, great, cool. A new addition. They still have Tyrod Williams, I should say. And the offense doesn't seem like the wide receiver core doesn't make me say, wow, yo, they're going to be killing this year. No, just give the rock to Josh Jacobs. You're going to have a mediocre season again, but Josh Jacobs will be the star, will be the stud of that offense. If I own anybody from the Raiders, you're probably thinking, what about Darren Waller? Pump the brakes, read my Twitter. You know how I feel about him. You know the vibes. But anyway, I feel like him at the 10th spot is respectable. There's other guys that could easily swap out with him as well. I could put maybe a Todd Gurley there at the 10th spot, or I can put like a Melvin Gordon there. These are all guys that are going to be flex position RB3s, but they have that potential to explode to that RB2 spot. But I feel like Josh Jacobs is solid there. He is clearly set up for success if they recognize that he needs to be the guy to go through. You know what I mean? So I'm actually happy about this little quiet hype train that's happening with Josh Jacobs, that I could still get him, to be my RB2 with RB1 upside. So I'm definitely full send on Josh Jacobs come draft day. Now, I want to do a video next week on my top 10 wide receivers, but this list is actually a little bit hard. I mean, I'm going based off of like my opinion, how I feel, how I would dress draft day with them. But like, there's guys like DeAndre Hopkins. Is he still going in the first round? That late first round. I seen him drop to the second. You know what I mean? Now, Michael Thomas, I feel like he's a full send, obviously, but with this whole shit going on with Drew Brees, I don't know if I want to catch a ball from him. You know what I mean? But it'll probably blow over. That Drew Brees shit will probably be forgotten come September or come week 1, but it definitely will be a conversation between the two. And I definitely think they could hash it out. Drew Brees seems understanding in his apology, but still fuck you, buddy. But I feel like, him going at that 4th spot That's decent. You know what I mean? I could put him as the fourth player off the board in the first round. But honestly, Devontae Adams, he's been getting some love, some hate. But I'm wasting too much time. This will be next episode that I'll go into it. I'm doing too much, but I'm back. You know, I've been going for a couple weeks. Well, not a couple weeks, a couple days. I want to say a week. You know what I mean? Do some reflecting, some social media break, get my thoughts together, and I feel like I'm back. I'm ready, and it's a full send for me, and I can't wait to start banging out this fire content for you guys. So I'll see you guys next week for another great episode of Real Deal Fantasy HQ with your boy LQ. Peace.